are now live.
Am I pointing in the right direction?
Yeah, that's the camera.
Oh, the camera's the phone.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? We're just getting this all organized for you. I'm going to share the live stream link for everyone.
Lulu may want it too for some reason. Maybe just send it to her also.
Yeah, I will send her the link. Everyone gets it. Anyone can get it. All right, so I'm gonna Ben and Jamie are just dropping the links for more people to join in. As you know, we'll be streaming the whole album today, getting a treat, because none of you have heard it already, right?
Frank, what's the Wi-Fi here?
It's this one.
And then password.
Oh, hey. All right. Yeah, now people are in chat.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to, just everyone in chat right now, I'm just going to play some of the music, and let me know if you can hear me talking over the audio here. Testing. This is Frank with his loud voice. Do you hear me speaking well over the music, or does the music need to go down? Just let us know. We'll do it quickly and we'll get started real soon. Welcome. So how's my voice over the music? Nice.
Oh, there we go.
Perfect. Yeah, like I said, these guys are just popping in some links so that people can join. But thanks for coming, and this is our first live stream, so we're excited to give this a shot. I think you'll hear some interesting insights about the music that, we don't normally say during the interviews. Maybe it's that, when things just come to mind improvisationally, you get a different response or a different take on maybe what we've made here. So it's awesome to be doing this, and I'm not sure I've seen many bands reacting to their own music. We're starting a new trend here.
Your story or Earthside?
I'm doing this for my story.
Okay.
This is going to be a new reaction streamer type thing where you just react to your own content.
Yeah, I think we've spent so much time reacting to this music and writing notes about whatever state it's currently in, so that the next time we react to it, we're even happier with it. Yeah, this is kind of probably the first time we've listened to it with people hanging out with us.
All right, so I'm guessing most people have listened to this record so far, but I think even when we're listening to it, we find new things to to be like, oh yeah, I didn't notice this, or yeah, I still feel this way about this thing or whatever. So I'm just gonna say what up to the chat. Steven, hello from New Hampshire, nice New England represent. Chile, buenos dias. Let's see. We got Brandon, the old bass player from the Bushwhack days, representing old school stuff. And yeah, Jamie's just finishing up. If you guys have any questions just before we start the stream, pop them in chat, because we'll be starting in just a few minutes. So please send us your questions in the chat. We'll just answer them for the next 5 minutes, and then we're gonna get right on the album stream. So yeah, just send them away. Did you have something you were?
Oh no, I'm leaving one off a little bit, so these are such isolating, perfectly molded in-ears that I wasn't going to hear anything new. So
Okay.
it's going to be so immersed in the music that I wouldn't be responsive to anyone.
What up, John? Nice. We got some names we know in the chat.
What John is that?
John Julio Sprick.
Oh,
Jingleheimer Frick.
Yeah.
I can't say that's my name too, but I've always liked it.
Will you be pressing your other? Why is this just heart thing just on the? That's so annoying. You're pressing your other records for the tour. Do we have extra Dream? We might have a few vinyls.
No, we have we pressed the Dream and Static
the new
vinyl already,
Yeah.
and
New
then
one.
it's just getting the Dream and Static reprinted on Digipack CD, which is in the process of happening right now. So yes.
Mexico in the chat. Buenas tardes, amigo.
Can you
all
make
right.
that window one bigger, Frank? So we can.
Yeah, I think we can pop out the chat and get it going.
Can you like Command plus it?
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, I can see all those.
Yeah,
we got
big-
Uruguay.
Yeah.
Go around.
Portugal.
All right.
Aiden.
Represent everyone. So I think let's get started here, and more people join in as we go. So let me just get everyone's. All right, chat is good. Let's do this. Jamie, you got one more?
One more, I'm good, but you can get it
All
going.
right,
I'll jump in.
Well, we got Jamie's song first.
Yeah, that's
We don't wanna leave him out too much.
I want to get our Discord homies. Let's see.
This is. I think this was this song is a great opener for this record. It just kind of sets the tone for everything that's.
It was
Coming.
probably, it was Jamie's Baby, it was probably one of the first songs to come together more or
Yeah.
less fully in the full album, in the full album package.
Yeah.
That wasn't even that much of a tongue twister. I don't have any excuses.
Yeah. Oh, Los Angeles, nice.
All right.
Been there a lot. We got good friends out there.
I've promoted it to enough places.
All right.
All right.
Is
We're
that
done.
BT? I think that's a Discord homie right there.
All right, guys. All right, here we go.
Is that it?
But what if we're wrong?
Right at the beginning, I have something to say, which is this opening. The mix engineer totally transformed it in the 11th hour because I had told him put a quarter note delay on it, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Let's go dotted eighth note. I'm like, oh, it has this cool now ping pongy effect that it didn't have before.
Yeah,
So
no,
much better.
it's got the Australian vibe now.
Yeah.
The Australian delay sound. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit.
And just in case it's not clear to certain people, Sandbox percussion is who's playing those bells, as opposed to any drum mallet hits at the moment. They're mallet percussion with the pitches and notes.
Weren't you just talking about Steve Reich?
Yeah, Steve Reichian was.
That wasn't even released.
Yeah.
When we were videoing.
Oh yeah, 2 days ago we talked about it, and I said Steve Reich was the name. That's the name I dropped too. So you're dead on.
Do you know what those bells are specifically as far as the...
Yeah, so it's vibraphone, glockenspiel playing one octave above the vibraphone, and then harmonized below by a marimba. And now Sandbox is playing this kind of stick beat that's going against Ben's drum beat.
I had
kind
to
of
play
combining.
this pretty much just feet and a snare, and it was so hard. It was so much easier playing the stick rims, but I had to leave the space.
Oh, and let us know how well you can hear us versus the music.
Oh yeah, Tuira is here from hell.
Those little harp moments were also added very late in the process. There's little harp flourishes in this section that didn't used to be there. And Ben on the toms kind of takes over for what Sandbox had been doing on the stick clicks.
When in doubt, channel board.
Coming up when it gets heavy, this is the part I wrote just to make Frank. I mean, I also like it too, but I was like, I need to write something that I know Frank's gonna like.
Yeah, we gotta turn up here.
Rammstein the shit out of this.
This is how I play drums. I'm like that. I'm just... I have to do all the parts. Learn all Ben's parts.
Knows them better than
I was so excited about bringing the two worlds together right in that moment. That was, for me, the payoff.
Yeah, it's pretty unique for us to have like one overarching idea that just kind of goes across the full song.
By the way, Brandon, I would say I think I'm even more a flat 2 lover than Frank. It's close, but I might be the number one flat 2
Jamie's
supporter.
flat. That fill is nonsense. Well, like the timing of it is like
Little spaz there.
yeah, it's the timing. You know what?
Jamie wrote that phrasing. I just had to.
Drums falling down the stairs, programmed in Logic for Ben. I was very excited to use a real whammy pedal for the first time in my life to use that section. And this is Sandbox doing stick click things in between Ben's side click rim clicks. I was very excited about that too, to torture Ben with that beat.
Whenever Jamie gives me a side click part, I know it's going to be a nightmare.
A couple new people joined the chat. Zuzana and OG for us, and Runty, who's been very awesome in reacting to our music and reacting to the new album. So
It's like all the harps. This album has like a lot of stereo stuff going on. Like it's very immersive in the stereo field.
well, that's one of the advantages of having duo Scorpios. For one, the harp is mic'd left to right, but then you have two harps, kind of like Board and Ben, two drum kits panned left to right.
This was the first the first thing really recorded on the record.
Yep.
And the first thing written for the record.
Yeah. So it's like...
At least the verse and chorus of it, yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of the perfect start to things.
Ben, I think
Ryan being gnarly.
yeah. What did I say? Ben, Aiden asked about the side clicks and pattern. Aiden, we'll get there when we do pattern.
Okay. Yeah, those were Jamie's special.
Yeah. Brandon, as far as the drop off at the end of track 1, it's kind of meant to be symmetrical, where it sort of starts with one note, builds up, and then at the end kind of has the whole engine going and kind of deconstructs back to the original note. I remember when we first got the recording of Ketra singing this verse into the first chorus, it was just like, fuck, yep, she's the vocalist on this. There's no going back now, no matter what it takes to get the rest of the song.
Still got to respond to her on Instagram. Doing it right after this.
I feel like the bass mixing is kind of undervalued. I wouldn't say undervalued. I think people have noticed it.
On this song?
Yeah, I think it's like...
Yeah.
I've seen some people react to me like...
This was the song we probably most allowed, like, hey, Forrester, you're mixing, do your Carnival stuff and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to memorize everyone's parts except for my own on the album.
It definitely made this record very difficult to have so many different mixers or engineers for so many different things, but allowed each instrument to have its own like ideal voice. Frank wrote that vocal line in a completely different place in the song and like accidentally dropped it there, and we were like, fire. That's
Oh, you
going
talking
right
the signing our fate part?
there. Save yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, that was like,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save yourself, because I'm the one who's in a different part.
got a little of me layered in the actual recording there.
Yeah, that part was called Porcupine Tree. On
That last section.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikita.
We have names, like very random names for each part of the music, and only if you've worked with us, you would understand what the. You get it to a new engineer, and they're like, "What the heck is like?"
Bolivia.
This section we called Skyline, like pretty part, because it's kind of just like the middle of Skyline kind of blooms out of one thing and just kind of creates this ethereal world that then climaxes. We feel like this has a similar kind of build. And Forrester in the mix really changed the vibe of this in a really cool way that made it even more ethereal.
Yeah, it was a tricky section to kind of envision in the end product because I think we wanted it to have more of that trippy background vibe. We hadn't really done that anywhere else.
Yeah. And these are all improvisations from Ketra. This is kind of her channeling her inner Gennady Kachenko Papish. Ketra doing her Gennady.
Oh yeah, Tool riff-off.
That's actually not correct. It's Crappy Tool riff.
Crappy Tool riff.
And Crappy Tool ripoff did make the album. We'll talk about it when we get to that one.
Steven Wilson would be an interesting mix.
I could see it sounding a bit foresty.
If you have a direct line to Steven Wilson, I mean, I guess we'll talk to him. I mean,
I interviewed Steven Wilson a million years ago for Metal Sucks. It was pretty cool. Jamie kind of hid in the background so he could hear the conversation, but it was me talking to him. That was for like Brace for Drowning, I think.
yeah.
Mega halftime.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite vocal moment in the song. After that, here we are.
White Whale collabs.
Was it?
Connor.
Someone we wanted to work with, but we couldn't get. Plenty of people, but I think it was cool how it worked out here because I think we ended up really discovering a lot of people that we would never have had come across us. This part's insane.
I'm gonna go back on the Beat Factory there, I feel.
Well, I first read that as white male collab, and that just threw me off the whole time. White whales.
Upside, yeah. Yeah, I had that fill part. We call this filibuster.
Yeah,
for
filibuster.
Obvious reasons. Like, if I wanted to shut down the Senate, I would just go up to the podium for like 2 days straight, but I would need to build up that stamina, probably.
Classic Jamie Lee.
Also, I think it's a very neat thing to say, okay, I'm bringing back the lead, but I have to find a way to sort of justify it coming back in all the minutes of music that's happened since then by changing it a little bit.
This part's been really fun to play, particularly live. I feel like Ryan and I really locked there.
Did we answer the question as to who a White Whale collab was, or we kept it mysterious? There's a handful, so it's not really one person. But
Yeah.
I'll say this, if we could ever get Bjork on a song, that would be really sick.
This is what we call ending core, when you add a part to a song that has nothing to do with the rest of the song.
But it's massive.
But then it's just as massive as you can make it.
We didn't really do it on a Dream Static. This is the ending core album.
Probably getting some mic of your tapping.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the mic.
Yeah, I'm bringing the lighting the way. The B natural, as you said. Yep, that was I was
More
very happy.
filibuster.
I was really hoping that Ben and Frank would let me go with that risky note.
Did we let you go with
Oh yeah, you did. Lighting the way.
Yeah.
It's like not in the key.
Frank is very helpful for writing these drum parts. I come up with something crazy and he's like, yeah, and then like do fast double bass under the whole thing, or like just do that for like a minute straight. Like, cool, no problem.
With this, what was it? It was like 3 different iterations of the chug with slightly different tuning or like fingering. So in the first one you get...
You're talking about progression?
Yeah, so like this is 2, what is it? The Return of the Revolutions, and then 3.
There's Filibuster Part 1, Filibuster Part 2.
Oh, ending chord 1, ending chord 2, ending chord 3.
And this is Filibuster.
Filibuster.
This is ending chord 3.
But I think there's a slightly different change in the...
Definitely from the first time to the second time.
Yeah.
The second and the third, I think the chugs are the same.
The beat is a little more filled out with the toms in between. I think I ended up just doing China here instead of Crash on the records.
Then we get the little fills.
Is the Catatonia song Burn the Remembrance?
Yeah, that was the inspiration.
Where you have fills during a fade out. So this next one is really the one. It's like the Burn the Remembrance from Catatonia inspiration.
Where I have to grab the cymbals.
That's like a classic 90s thing. You have to make people like rewind. Wait, what happened in that fade out?
Wait, I feel like you have to explain this crooked riff here, right?
Yeah, I'll
take a quick sonic break.
Yeah, I'm known a little bit as a member of the band who likes to sort of prove people wrong. So it's like if somebody dares me like, hey, I bet you can't make this good, that's like, oh, watch me. So usually it's somebody else having, like, Ben has a drum beat that Frank doesn't think can be made good, and I'm like, all right, I'll put a guitar thing over it that makes that awesome.
Last song.
Yeah, on the most recent, on We Who Lament, the beginning started that way. In Tyranny, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a riff myself that I think sucks, and I'm just going to make things awesome around it so that the riff is reinterpreted as a good riff. So it's kind of what we call a crooked riff, like kind of derpy.
If you saw like a local hard rockin' bar band that's like biggest influences are like Godsmack, Rob Zombie, and like Disturbed.
And Rage Against the Machine, but they don't understand that Rage Against the Machine is a political band.
Yeah.
Those people.
Yep.
So anyway, I kind of wrote a riff like that, but then wanted to put sort of the harmonic and rhythmic stuff around it very quickly. It's that you reinterpret the riff as like, whoa, it's actually like this kind of really almost elegant thing as opposed to this derpy thing.
Yeah, it feels kind of like scherzo-y.
Yeah, scherzo is the right word. It does have that dotted, shuffly kind of vibe.
Oh yeah, let's instant replay. Here we go. What time is this?
It's 3/4 by itself, but then it gets reinterpreted as shuffle.
I just love the slam of this part. It's so ignorant.
It does get a little bit ignorant here.
I also like layering the French horns with the guitar octaves, kind of adds a regal quality to it. Ben wrote this piano melody
via beatbox, and Jamie took it and made it cool in a completely different like scale.
We got our brother Free Tom coming in.
Thank you, Manuel.
And this is Jamie's like 90s hip hop R&B.
I honestly listen to a bunch of like Aaliyah and Destiny's Child to get this kind of like hi-hat, the vocal rhythm and the hi-hat beat to give to Ben.
The trappiest drumming I've ever had to learn.
We usually don't have a lot of like those acoustic guitar kind of sounds in our music. Maybe we should do more of, but like those arpeggios are like a unique thing in the...
We might end up doing some more songs with Free Tom. He's a super cool guy to work with.
He's probably the most just like accessible person to sort of talk to. He he's always, even though he's 9.5 hours time zone apart, if I message him, he'll wake up mid-sleep and be like, yo, bro,
Let's go.
do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, is the song mastered after you record? Those harmonies are
Pritam added those. Yeah, that was his own
that's
in studio
awesome.
creation, his idea, or could have been Ritwick, his producer's idea.
Of the massive snare off.
Yeah.
Melody and beauty is definitely something that I think can be underrated in heavy music, progressive or not. Jamie definitely makes sure that it's in there.
I make sure there's pretty parts. And this is the moment we waited for Pritam to deliver.
It's like getting so political these days. Why don't they just stick to music?
I think he's being
Yeah, I know.
You should take
People
out
don't
the
know,
Rage Against the Machine
we
show.
used to be political people before we were musicians, and we just decided to get into music on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, anything that has like the thick guitar power chords and then twinklies is always like a good idea. Just like in But What If We're Wrong.
There was a review that described this kind of stuff in this song as like a dystopian romance or something like that, and I totally see it, yeah.
So this part coming up was originally just Ryan sort of bass tapping with Ben kind of having a drum beat to go with this part. And it was actually in a half step down in a different key, and we were trying to write a song around it, and it just wasn't coming together to be quite as special as I thought it could be. And then I was like, what if this came right after all this in Tyranny? And I showed Ben and Ryan, like, hey, is it okay that I stole your part and stuck it here? And luckily I got their blessing when they heard it.
Yeah. No, and also that beginning part, like 6 months before we put that together in the demo, I had taken drum lessons again for the first time in a long time, and the guy that I studied with, his name's Bill Carbone, showed me Kinka for the first time, which is that kind of African ostinato.
I feel like all the kind of like funky, tasty parts are always in an odd time signature in our music. We have no like 4/4, just like groovy things. It's like I need like hi-hat stuff.
And to what Susanna said, apart from like the heavy riff at the beginning and then this bass tapping section, I would say I wrote most of this song honestly out of piano rather than on guitar, so it makes sense that you hear it as a very piano-centric song.
We never set out though to make these like a weird meter or anything. It's just what feels right.
So young.
Here we go. I did a little Gojira slurp.
Climactic lead moments are something that I think we tend to love across a lot of our music.
Yeah. Bringing back the riff more crooked and derpy than ever, but just have it stick
The
around.
Icarus lives always.
Oh, yeah.
Demo, yeah.
Yeah, from the demo version.
If you're gonna be crooked, you gotta bring it. You just gotta rock hard.
Pritam sounds so meaty there. And coming up, getting that, you know, it's such an honor for us to have Pritam singing in his native Bengali for this outro section. Yeah, that snare hits transition I think was kind of like almost like a Foo Fighters like
Dave Grohl moment.
yeah, Dave Grohl kind of or Taylor Hawkins kind of vibe. Like the Pretender I think has that. Yeah, Brandon, I remember being at a piano with Ben and like taking the part earlier in the song, like what if I reinterpret that part with this chord progression? And we immediately were like, yeah, that's the climax right there.
This is us getting to be big time Textures fanboys.
Hello, whoever said, hey guys, I don't know who you are based on your username, but hello.
This is like
Yeah.
mega Jamie.
Major ending. Yeah.
This is a mega Jamie part.
We also called this part Head with Wings because we kind of, our friends at Head with Wings had a part in one of their songs that had a little bit of a vibe like that section.
I think they often have those kind of like big open 6/8 ride outs.
We almost never do 6/8. We never do 6/8.
There's a lot of 6/8 on the song.
This song has 3/4 shuffle and 6/8, so all 3/4 fraction.
Okay, so that sounds like...
Was that like the mega piano sample?
Oh yeah, which I use that same piano sample in Denial's aria for that. Boom, I will.
Yeah, it's like boom in your face.
Yeah. Well, we get to talk about pattern now. Whoever it was who asked about the side clicks, they can
Yeah.
go there again.
Oh man.
With the person who's Irma Linus on there, I would definitely recommend following Pretom if you love his voice so much. He's just Scream Pretom Scream on Instagram, and just anyone who loves his voice, he will so love to hear from you.
We always say like Ben's hardest parts are the parts you think are the easiest, or like people think it's like, oh yeah, it's just a light beat here, but it's like.
I remember
how do you side click and do
when Frank and I did like a week and a half writing session in Maine at his uncle's house in the middle of nowhere, and I remember like the second day I was there, like programming this random beat and be like, oh, Ben's gonna love this.
Yeah, you took it from already a pretty difficult beat in the song and made it worse.
From the heaviest section of the song, I just removed the kicks and made them cymbals.
Yeah, it's like
this part too.
An Earthside cinematic-fied, beautified new metal. Oh my.
Yeah. This song is produced and mixed by the guy who did Seven Dust Animosity, and not produced, but mixed by the guy who did Seven Dust Animosity.
No,
and
he
Filters.
produced.
No, Greg produced.
Produced Animosity.
No, this song is mixed by, not produced by. This song is mixed by the guy who produced and mixed Animosity and Filter, the Amalgama. So we went for the sort of heavier new metal sound that I believe Aiden was talking about.
Yeah, the ending it definitely shows a special side of what AJ brings to the table.
You know, it's funny, we don't actually really listen to classic prog. Some people think we do. We never really. This is my part from this one.
And this beat is what I reinterpreted to make the side click beat in the beginning that Ben had to learn.
This and the chorus were probably the first two sections that we jammed out together.
Well, this section we didn't have anything except for your drum beat. We had to write the music around it.
Yeah, we definitely like Living Color, for sure.
All crunchy chords.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like some people think this is a really basic song, but you like dissect Jamie's like guitar voicings and the transitions and everything. It's like I think there's a lot more than meets the eye. When people are just like, oh, it's like a new metal song. It's like, well, actually break it down and analyze it.
And a lot of new metal is more sophisticated and proggy than people think it is. Chorus 2, here we go. If we had 3 choruses, we probably could have put this on the radio, but we only got 2.
That would be the only problem. Yeah, I think it's really cool how AJ kind of made this very personal vignette on the record. It's an honor to have him do something that personal. But I think it also allows certain themes of the kind of gray nature of truth to be personalized in a way on the record.
For this outro, Frank had this video of him like jamming on Kurt Schneider, the YouTuber Kurt Hugo Schneider's piano in LA.
And he's a real like pop covers producer, like prominent pop cover.
But Frank's my friend going way back. And Frank had this video of him playing this whole thing on piano with these low note stabs. And I sort of rearranged it as this like guitar riff meets piano and drum beat thing.
Yeah.
And then AJ and Ben did their thing with it.
So
young.
Oh yeah.
So young. I wanted Ben to be able to use these headphones too. I only have
They
one
are
that was
truly
working.
some of the best.
I insist.
We have no idea what time signature this is, and probably won't ever.
Maybe after the stream, I'll find the electronic music song that came.
Yeah.
It's right on my computer. I'll have to
And that
play it.
piano video.
All right. Do we have anything before we start the 11-minute classic of watching the Earth sink?
Well, I mean, yeah, it was just. One thing I think we did allude to already, but yeah, this is the first song we ever had a vocalist write the entirety, pretty much, of their part lyrically, melodically. It was just sort of, as we could say, kind of a pass the mic moment. Like, here, we're giving it to you. You do what you're going to do with it, and just how moving it was to get a text message from AJ saying, like, hey man, I've never gotten to really mourn and grieve the loss of my father. I did it through this song, you know. So that was just that hit with a tremendous amount of meaning and weight.
Well, I think for watching the Earth sink, it's we're gonna have a moment of silence for Jamie's solo here, and then we'll chat again.
Well, I'll
just
say
enjoy the.
I will say quickly though, yeah. When one little tidbit. Before we went to master the album, I didn't there was no connection really between Pattern and watching the Earth sink, and I realized that like the hanging of the reverb of life is the same note that.
Oh.
So I was like, can we just cross that reverb tail over the guitar, and that's why they go seamlessly into each other, which was a bit of a headache in the mastering process to kind of retrofit, but I think it kind of creates a cool effect as far as how the reverb of the life kind of crossfades over a little bit with the opening of the guitar. If you want to just backtrack.
I didn't even
seconds.
notice that.
It wasn't that way until it was mastered.
There we go. All right.
I'm practicing this.
I think, Jamie, you need to do a compositional breakdown of that because I can't even follow the chord changes, and it's so.
And I don't know what time it's in. It's in free time.
It's funny because it's technical, but it's just beautiful. Like no one would notice how intricate compositionally that is.
I definitely hear some open.
And also
David's production.
the
also
tone
really
is like
as far as
you
the
don't
space.
hear that on records anymore. That just raw, warm with the effects, with the pedals. It just I haven't heard a sound like that on a record like since like earlier or like Porcupine Tree or Opeth records back in like early 2000s.
To record that, David and I dialed in the sound, and then David left, and I just stayed there all night, overnight, just recording it over and over again.
And it was
in a dark room.
Were you using PRS?
So actually, I saw that it might have been Schecter C1 Classic with the jazz pickup. I might have needed the jazz pickup for it that the Schecter C1 Classic had. Otherwise, it was PRS.
So in this, Ryan and I are playing the same thing. Dun, 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 dun. But then in typical fashion, I just keep on the odd time, and everyone else changes time signature. You notice it.
And somebody's very quick question. I'm not from Baltimore. My dad is an Orioles fan from Vermont, but I rep them. We were good last year, one time.
One classic. It is a classic.
Do we have
The
a...
gym when you play frog drums. Yeah, this song is a serious workout. Probably has some of my favorite drum tones on the record. Has kind of the space to shine it that way.
Alex's question on favorite song from the new album. You want to save that for the end of the album afterwards? So Alex, we're going to keep you in suspense for a moment. And by a moment, I mean like 40
This was our like Congregation Leprous inspiration.
Well, we had just come back from touring with Leprous, playing like 40
So if you
shows.
like old Leprous, here's the part that
this guitar, like high note, sort of slightly
The bass.
crunchy, and the straight 16th bass. Yeah, this is maybe our most Congregation era Leprusian moment.
The section's called Get Bored. I guess both a Deftones reference, but also B-A-A-R-D.
Get
This is
bored.
like the board.
There's nothing Deftonesy about it. It's just for the pun.
Yeah,
it's
it's
very
just for the
Leprusian
pun.
and
Yeah.
not Deftones.
Yeah.
I think coming up actually is the first section we wrote in the whole song, which is like we wrote the rest of the song around this moment.
Middle core. I would say you're pretty close to the intention there, Manuel. Yeah, both climate and I think the general attitude of like, it's not our problem to solve. We're not going to live through whatever's coming. The later generations can deal with it.
Alright, we're gonna get to 20 guitar tracks. Just feels like people are like, oh, the mix is too muddy with all these guitars. It's like it's supposed to sound this way.
And also
It feels like the world is collapsing.
Also, what David did to thicken up your synth and layer with the Moog.
I also love the movement of the chug guitars. It really feels so disastrous in a cool way.
How much time did the mix take?
This solo coming up, maybe not this moment, but most of it, Ben just hummed to me, and then I was like, all right, I'll make something out of that.
I was like, we need to pull like an evil contortionist here.
There was just
No one
You don't know where
needs
it
to
is.
know.
No one needs to know what it is. See if they can find it.
More guitars, more layers.
And this is the melody that Ben hummed to me.
Octave guitar leads.
Or is you call it evil flourish, sort of like a flourish from the contortionist, but much more evil sounding.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Frank, but that sounded pretty 680 to me. The last
4/4.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was 4/4.
It's all 4/4. Hola, Carlos. Another classic, quiet Earthside part with drumming that doesn't feel like
I think had I understood Gavin Harrison a little better on the first album, I would have done more stuff like that. But that was.
Well, this part is not in 4.
I know,
but you just make it 4 in your own mind. Everything's in 4 for Frank.
Are y'all into movie scores? You could say we're into movie scores.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer's we fuck with.
Seeing Hans Zimmer live was probably one of the most inspirational experiences for the direction this album took.
I love Ryan's bass lines on this album. He really came to play.
It's another classic Jamie solo. We'll throw the octaves in. And then we start the end of the world.
I don't know that there was like strict jamming in the song or on this album, but I think having played with each other for as long as we did, I think some parts feel a little livelier in a jammy kind of way. Just
this song, most of it was written through jam sessions together.
But kind of understanding and knowing where people are going to zig or zag. Curious what your probably depends on the section. I love
these are all 7ths, right? Or is it?
Oh, the interval of your except for there, obviously. But major 7, minor 7, 2 albums to each other.
But I think it kind of works because it's going by step, but it's like step leap, step leap. I've noticed that's a way when writing that feels tense, but also can be fulfilling too.
I love the roads.
The drums, here we go. Just the sound and the feel.
Coming up here is like Ben's super stereo drum experience. You have headphones or speakers?
Headphones on.
I think I have a video of me playing that lead-in on Instagram, but it's me kind of pinging all over the kit and Forrester mixing it in a really cool way that pops it out.
It's only one climax per 6 minutes. I think you're allowed.
I love those little the machine gun.
And I'm taking over Frank's Rhodes line there. Now I get to play it. I didn't ask his permission though. I just started doing it. What is this now, 30 guitars?
No, not yet.
Quite yet, but this is the section where it gets there.
Well, and also evil mini move.
Yeah.
There's the MIDI move. But there's also distorted drop A acoustic guitar. If you go to my Instagram at Jamie_Earthside, you will see me hitting drop A acoustic with an octave down pedal.
Frank idea.
Like mastering engineer, you need to clip this section.
Well,
like,
the mix.
It was like what, -3 lefts at the end?
Yeah,
it's like -3 lefts, like above Death Magnetic, where we just
Frank had it clipping in the mix, and I mean, sorry, not Frank. Forrester had it clipping in the mix, and then we were like, Ted, let it clip.
We need this to clip.
And now for something totally different.
This track's a
Oh yeah, the Earthside Tiny Desk concert. it's been great to see some good feedback from this song. You know, it's kind of like a song out of left field. And we're, you know, you can see Sam Gendel's in the track. We were big Knower and Lewis Cole Clowncore fans, and
alleged Clowncore.
Alleged, yeah.
We don't know he's in there.
But I think there's more similarities like in these funk genres with like kind of progressive metal than I think people maybe think of. And, you know, I was saying to them one other day that like, you know, even Lewis Cole uses progressive metal ideas in his songs or in some of his projects, and then you know, I think this, but no one's really been doing it into metal, and I know you have lots of things to say. We just did some behind the scenes.
I think there's so much to say on this song. We might want to pause to talk just for a moment so we don't talk over the entire song. But
yeah, did you have anything like right on this intro or for?
I mean, I think you guys were a huge part. I mean, starting from this kind of movement, different movements world of the song, I kind of knew that if I wanted to have a shot at being able to legitimately bring some of the funk that I grew up with, courtesy of my father and my mother, kind of just from early days in car rides, if I wanted to be able to bring that into Earthside and have it be convincing, we kind of had to anchor it with the atmosphere that people expect of Earthside. And these guys were huge in helping that live on an Earthside record, using, as you had the idea, saxophone not just to be funky, but to be atmospheric.
Especially in that early section, there's like beds of chords from the horn section.
Heavy. And using the heavy stuff to be funky, like there's the double bass and bass going in a very mellow, vibey section. I think it was it was a tricky but kind of fun challenge to find ways to take things from this world and make it Earthside and vice versa.
Before you hit play again, I just want to jump in with, this song took a lot of imagination because there's so much that you hear in this end result that we really had to have faith was going to arrive here, because, I mean, so like those low 8 strings were basically originally represented by MIDI guitars, you know, these horns were originally represented by sort of Logic Pro samples. I think you had a bassoon sample as your, as your like lowest horn.
Super drop.
Yeah, and then you like distortion on the bassoon. So it was like, and then, it was Ben singing all these vocal parts, and Ben has a good voice and can get funky and can bring his own heat, but it's still very different from then when you actually get Larry Bragg singing it. So there's so much that went into this song. You really had to, at every point, sort of see the end game and believe in the end game. And you know how long this album took. So there's years of sort of waiting to get from what we were hearing versus what we knew in our hearts it could be if we sort of stayed the course. So that's one thing. The other thing I just want to say is when we're listening, I think because people see the name Sam Gendel, it's going to be a misconception that any saxophone or horn you hear is him. And so when you hear more funky horn section stuff in this song, that's actually John Scarpula and his sort of horn section of 6 or 7 players.
Yep, we have video of that.
Right, and they're Tower of Power alumni. And Sam Gendel does more like the lead ambient stuff. So I may point out, right, and some blast notes. So you may point out moments like, that's Sam.
Yep.
That's not Sam, just so you guys know, because I've seen some YouTube comments like, wow, Sam Gendel on those funky chords. It's like, well, that's not him. But, and also, last thing, Thomas Inger, I don't know how to say it, Inga Brixton. I'm a theory nerd to the nth degree, so just whatever social media you use, I'm Jamie Earthside. We could just spend the next 23 hours theory nerding out. You know where to find me. Cool.
Which thing has the minor-ish vibe to major 7?
I think this the fact that the song goes to like a world where it's like F sharp major 7 bass as opposed to just F sharp minor bass.
Okay. Definitely one of the longest to record.
I mean, I saw how long did it take to mix the album too, which is like, how long didn't it take to mix the album? Probably took as long to mix as like most productions of a CD are for most bands.
I think we do want to do some kind of...
Yeah. What about it?
That is just great. Oh. That transition to that.
I think we do want to do some kind of performance-y video of this at some point.
Yeah, this was another thing with Ben's like demo is like, all right, here's my like keyboards from Logic, and we had to do some like sprucing. But honestly, we did keep quite a few stock Logic sounds.
Some sick
So
Logic
it was
sounds,
like,
yeah.
you know, everyone's, you know, like it all depends on how you use it. It's not what it is, it's how you use
Is it
it.
Alchemy, the Logic synth thing? Or what's the name of the thing?
Deterioration
There's different
is one that I
ones
use.
we use.
But I think there's some of them are Alchemy voices, is what I mean.
And
Yeah.
Native Instruments Absinthe.
Okay. But did Ben use
I think
those?
this is Absinthe.
Oh, this.
in the back.
It is 8-string that comes up, and that's our friend Henrik Gennert, who's just a nasty rhythm lead
He's
metal
a
guitarist.
Swedish gent master.
And he also did the very melodic legato solo in the Ungrounding.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, a minute from the end of the song.
One
But
of
this
our-
is to me like
Wait, I gotta rewind
the,
this part right
the
here.
lushness of the synths is so beautiful here, and the horns. There's horns layered in those synths.
I wrote this to convince Jamie to let this song be on the I was like,
I think I definitely got to play around with some of the chord choices too. Let me mess with the MIDI to make it even more what I wanted
Yeah.
it to be, like that low A chord.
and those backing vocals are a guy, Duran, who's in a sick soul band. I'll talk more about him later.
He sings some
We're gonna
quasi
get
lead vocals.
funky. Ignorant.
This definitely came together with the vocals.
Once again, you found the sides. You cry me a river to drown in your river while you wait.
This is me trying to channel some Garibaldi and maybe Nate Smith. Always love the funk drummers.
Thank you, Cosmos. I see a Tune Lab OG and Nick W. Oh yeah, I've got it. That's a nut buster.
Yep, that's what Larry calls a nutbuster. He
There's
is
another
the
one.
freaking master beast of those. This was probably like the section I heard in my head when I was just like, this has got to be something. I want to listen to this. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, Thomas pointed out the triangle. He hears the triangle.
Dude,
layers.
we got a real hardcore listener here.
Yeah.
we try to always make sure our triangle players are represented.
Yeah, if you can pick out all 300 tracks in this session, then you win a
I think
prize.
Thomas might have the best shot of finding watching the Earthside Easter egg of anyone. We'll see if he can find it. It's your homework, Thomas. Or Tomas, I don't know how to say your name.
Do you say this beat is really hard? What's the hard beat that sounds simple?
This is one of them. I wanted to do something easier on the record, and Jamie was like, no, you gotta do that. You have to go into your MIDI and relearn it. But I think you were right.
What was that I was worried about?
The pre-chorus beat.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really interesting chord change.
So these horns you've been hearing, those are the funk horns, not Sam Gendel. This is the funk horns. And Tower of Power alumni Dave Estridge, who does a lot of their horn arrangements, helped us sort of spruce up our horn arrangements that Ben already had like a mock-up of.
So I hadn't assigned them to specific instruments. I just put together what sounded good to me.
I haven't quite memorized this yet.
This is another, like, us listening to a crap load of leprous congregation in the writing process for this record.
There's an ambient horn layer, it's like really high up, or ambient sax layer, like starts right there, goes up a little bit, there, went up, that's Sam Gendel over the top,
And these are back to the TOP horns, yep.
but yeah.
Some of the cool percussion you
What
hear
are those
here-
things called? What the heck are those?
The percussion?
Yeah. The pipe things? Yeah.
I don't know, that was Matias who did percussion across the record, but he really
David
shined
probably
on this
named it
track.
something Swedish, so we don't know.
Thank you, Aiden. Really appreciate that. Jamie gets to be Jamie here. Coming in with those slaying chords.
Oh, those guitar? Yeah. Some guitars in the song are actually me, where you get to, where it sounds like it's me. Where it sounds like it's not me, it's probably not me. We talk about a part that was like to be right up my alley. This is the section, right?
And again, not in 4/4.
And this, so these saxes, there's like multiple layers here of ambient layers. This is the Sam Gendel. That is Sam Gendel.
And 3 layers of bass too.
There's like 3 layers of bass and 3 layers of Sam Gendel.
Jamie had a very cool vision for this kind of post-rock sax, as you called it.
That wind flourish, like, is also Sam. He almost sounds like he's playing like a super verbed out clarinet, but it's him on the sax. Those like seagulls are him. So really, this is the Sam Gendel solo section.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pure class there.
For me, this is the
Little known fact, that is an 808 drop at 808 in the
8
song.
minutes, 80 seconds. And a Sam Gendel scream to bring us out of it. Sam Gendel sax scream.
extremely satisfying.
Grace for Drowning was a big thing for us on that jazzier Stephen Wilson end.
And in that Sam Gendel section, that's also, I think, one of my favorite Ben drum beats with the cup chimes and the whole record.
He's still up there.
Yeah. That's Sam. And this little run, that's Sam. That's also Sam. But that is the horn.
TOP horn, guys.
P section, yep.
That's like, I love both nu metal and Deliverance Opeth, and I'm writing it with horns.
A little trill effect there is Sam, and this is Sam Gendel right here. These like kind of creepy sounds there.
Subvert.
It's always an unexpected turn in this song.
Yeah.
Oblivion.
Or Bolivian. Shout out Song Myung if you're there.
To the distant sun, I took a look around.
So this in the background is Duran, formerly of the Smirk, and the band Model Decoy, adding those supplemental.
I think we're gonna want to do more with Duran vocally. You guys are gonna know that name more. I think I agree with Susanna that the Oblivion section is the Earthside sound TM. That is very Earthside.
Yeah, we also had David handling the lead guitar, very post-sounding lead guitar. Totally.
Oh, Brandon got it. Yeah, Oblivion.
I did sing the lyrics.
Yeah.
Yup. That's my favorite 30 Seconds to Mars song.
Just all this Sam Gendel.
Yeah, this ending is really where you get to hear Sam Gendel rip with the horn section under him.
Little Ben vocal.
little clowncore influence at that end, just like horn thing. If Sam
Alleged
Gendel-
clowncore
if he's in
influence,
clowncore, we don't know. And now for something completely different again.
Do we need a pause? Like, maybe. Yeah, let's just go into it.
Here's some ethereal vocals in the background from a composer named Katie Jenkins, and then
Got
This is
Ketra
Ketra.
back.
You lost the war but won the shouting match.
Also, a lot of stereo stuff going on in this song.
there's electric mandolin panned left and electric guitar panned right playing the same thing, which I think, or maybe it's the other way around, but that helps.
Debo.
Yeah. David really did a beautiful job with that.
So VK is the one singing my original melody, the say it to myself, and Ketra goes say it to myself. Say it.
Watch your headphones.
Yeah. Say it to is Vic. Ketra say it to myself. I've already got vocals on this song, Brandon. Don't worry, I'm actually singing right now. I'm singing like the pad chords under it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tracks of Jamie.
Oh, there's Paul Burden, our savior in Europe right there. And the man
Paul.
we've tortured by having him store our gear. Thank you, Paul.
You're the man.
Yeah, we got every song. You know, we offer you a challenge to find every layer, and if you
this
do,
is the glorious.
Little high bass thing. What was the thing you're talking? The cello just happened.
Oh,
oh, you want me to rewind
Yeah,
for the cello? All
rewind
right,
that
we're
back.
gonna rewind for the cello. W cello.
You're doing the cello, it's a bass, literally.
All right,
The lyrics talking
here it
about
is.
the. This cellist really nailed this.
Oh, I love that. Make Jack Black cry. Oh, that's pretty wild. Listening to
Total
the first time over the
coincidence.
Northern Lights.
And then we chose this
Yeah.
as the image. Later on in the song, there's a spot where the violin and viola really have a moment that's really expressive to me. I'll point out when that happens. And coming up is going to be a section where you really hear the two harps kind of playing off of each other in Duo Scorpio.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, Brandon. Appreciate having you here, man.
Right here. That's Vic Gay doing the coward scream.
Also, what I've noticed is you preface a lot of moments with some kind of like slide up or like a bend or like an ebo that goes up in volume and then something hits.
Yeah.
It's like a very subtle aspect to the song.
And thank you, Irma Linus. I don't know how to say your name or your username, but this song is my baby on the album, so. My pleading, but can I please do a pretty song?
What did you just say?
I said, can I please do a pretty song?
Okay. Sounded like you were speaking another language.
Ben Gross had the snares like max volume. I kind of, you know, sometimes I miss that. I know it's not necessarily right for the song, but
I love when
So you have Vic and Ketra both singing here at the same time. This is just Vic here. And this is the violin moment I was talking about, which I also stole this melody from.
Oh, I was gonna
Lesser
say, yeah, the one you stole from the Lesser Evil.
Evil, but the violin plays it beautifully.
It is beautiful.
Something of a new.
oh, I didn't even know that.
Yep. Stole and the chord progression, but the chord I put in the Lesser Evil, so I'm allowed to steal it.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the gesture. The sun setting on it.
Well, no, I know that. I stole your melody, but I gave you the chord for it, so it's
Okay.
even trade.
Alright. We're good.
And this is a lot of Vic's vocals. Vic is the one
Oh,
singing
wait.
the lead here, while
There's
Ketra's
like
doing
one
the
line
waterfall
for some
vocals.
reason is my favorite. Is it here?
Okay, that's an Easter
That's
egg.
my favorite.
Alright, so pause it. Pause
That's
it.
my favorite part. I don't know why.
I gotta give a shout out to somebody. If you read the credits, you'll know this. So that vocal line is from somebody else who tried out for the song, who's a really amazing singer. Lindsay Ward from the band Exploring Birdsong. I'm sure some people in chat know Exploring Birdsong or know Lindsay's work. She featured on Caligula's Horse track on their like a cover of something. Anyway, one of our fans sent me Exploring Birdsong before they were big, and Lindsay. We ended up wanting more the earthy style that Ketra gives to sort of the lead vocal of the song. But I was like, Lindsay, can I just use this one vocal moment in this climactic moment, which is the thing
Yeah.
we like. I don't remember we were mixing. I'm like, hey, Ben Gross, can we just have that a little louder, please? Can we get that little Easter egg a little louder? So that's...
That's like
Lindsay-
my favorite part in the whole song.
Yeah, that's Lindsay
I don't really
Ward.
want.
You want to go back?
Yeah.
It is really nice. I also like Ketra's slide up into the last chorus.
Ketra giving that.
Yeah, Ketra is a
roar.
beast.
And then Vic doing the siren voice over the top, super high pitched.
Jamie's singing it all live.
Yeah.
We're playing this one live.
I think if we do the
You'd have to very
Earthside
much
live
reinterpret it.
experience
Yeah.
with the 30-piece band orchestra.
So the vocals here at the end are all Vic and Katie Jenkins. VK and Katie Jenkins. And most of those drums in the song are actually piano sounds rather than drums. They're
I
just
have
sounds
one
inside
actual
you.
drum fill in the song, and that's it.
Now, this was a part of Let the Truth Speak, which I wanted it to be a part of the whole song, but we separated it as its own track. But
I don't know if it was ever. Maybe you thought it was. We bounced it. As
yeah,
one.
you bounced the whole thing, and I was like,
Well, it's because it was all in one Logic session.
but this like gives, this is the Gennady, like it gives him the, you get his solo.
And you also get like a VK moment right here. It's like, this is VK. Because in Denial's Aria, you don't really know when it's her and when it's Ketra. So this is her really getting to be her.
I love that gesture.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite VK moment in the song right there.
I mean, this is like music that I loved.
And then Gennady kind of sneaks in there with her, with VK.
Especially when I was in high school and middle school, listening to like a lot of world music and movie soundtrack stuff.
So the question of how we discovered Gennady, we discovered Gennady, Ketra, Pritam, and were reminded about AJ all through a Facebook post I made on my Jamie Earthside Facebook. And if you are not friends with me here, you can add me. I'm just Jamie Earthside on Facebook. There's a post with over 1,000 comments. And yeah, you're welcome to still recommend vocalists on there. We're still gonna find artists from this thing.
We were thinking about maybe doing like a live cinematic jam with Gennady, similar to something like an extended version of this when we played Prog Power, but the timing just didn't work out.
So Vespers here, I originally made this instrumental track like the day or 2 days before Gennady went into the studio to record Let the Truth Speak, and I was like, I don't know if he's gonna be able to sing with all this rhythmic stuff Ben does, all the distorted guitar, he's not used to it. And so I just took sort of stems from Let the Truth Speak and in the tempo of Let the Truth Speak and made an ambient track is more like what he's used to singing over. And then it's like, wait, this is awesome. We just gotta have this on the record as its own track. And Gennady sang just fine over Let the Truth Speak, so we didn't even need this. So it's a good thing we just had it. And this is the moment. I'll shut up.
Yeah.
And you guys got a taste of this moment in the music video.
And I feel like it makes the intro better too. Like Vespers, like it was kind of a funky kind of intro.
Yeah.
But for like the weight of the song,
For where
was
this
more
song
balanced.
started,
But for those of you who asked what song was Crappy Tool Ripoff, now this is not the part, but this song started as Crappy Tool Ripoff, and then we made all the non-crappy parts just blow it out of the water.
If you don't know enough to know what you don't know, the only truth you find is the one you're looking for.
And for those who don't know, there's a drum playthrough of this currently out.
product
What I keep
placement.
what I'm doing a little clearer of an eye.
Yeah, I think we think this is kind of like, you have to describe the Earthside sound. This kind of gives you everything. The orchestra, the collaborators, the world, music, the keyboards, the crazy drums, the funky Brian's tapping, grooves,
Even
like
some post
timbre,
harmony.
It's like,
Yeah, when Alex asked earlier, what's my favorite song on the album? This is probably my favorite song on the album.
This is one of my favorite sections here.
Yeah, this moment we wrote this in rehearsal, it was like, oh, that feels so
Well, yeah,
good.
and then
that's
when
when we
Frank
had
came
the
in
strings
with
line.
the string line, oh yeah.
did you already do Beat Factory?
No, but I had like 12 beats that I wanted to put in songs, and this song just ended up being like a place I could put most of them.
When we first heard that note from Dan, I was like, oh fuck, yeah, that's it.
Seven Dust.
That's our Seven Dust influence. Seven
Seven
Dust
Dust
has
Has
arrived.
Arrived is the name of that part.
And for the Seven Dust fans here, i.e. Aiden Ducker, coming up is the part that we called Clint Lowry because it's the chorus of this song. It was very inspired by Clint's writing, especially in his Hello Demons Meet Skeletons project right here.
It's that bass.
I love the lead, the guitar lead that Jamie has there too.
Gennady and Dan sort of harmonizing there. Gennady. Yeah, to what Alex's point, I want to do a version with Gennady way up or just isolated. And in the Lesser Evil, I'd love to sort of also isolate out what's Sam Gendel versus the funk horns, what's Duran versus what's Larry.
This is the remnant of Crappy Tool ripoff.
Yeah, this is the
Slash Nocturne.
this was based on what we had in Crappy Tool ripoff.
Yep.
But Gennady's totally improvised. We edited together his improvisations to choose sort of the best moments, the greatest hits, so to speak. Coming up is really the only thing that was really just verbatim Crappy Tool ripoff. It's the only part of Crappy Tool ripoff we kept.
It's also
Then we did
Crappy
faux roll.
Faux Roll ripoff.
We stole, Leprous' faux intro drum beat, the roll.
And then the keyboard part was taken from this section during the
Into
solo
Vespers.
for Vespers.
I took your 6/8 thing and made it actually 4/4.
See? It's all 4/4.
From a performance standpoint, this might be the proudest solo on the record. Like, I think the intro of watching her sing compositionally is my proudest guitar thing. This is like, from just like I play guitar with feel, this is I think where I feel most proud
Are
of.
my like vocoders randomly like?
Yeah, we got you sprinkled in there.
Yeah, you know,
I got
vocal
vocals.
credits, best singer
Yeah.
here. You know.
Totally agree. Dan's heavy vocals are underrated, but I think he realized what an asset they were, and he's pushed himself to do some really awesome stuff with them recently.
Yeah, his vocals on the War of Being album are sick. Yeah, that.
We always have these parts where we have these contra or there's a contra melody for.
There's another shot where Dan wrote a vocal melody here in a different part of the song, and we stuck it in this part. We're like, oh, it's sick right here.
Yeah, it was really cool getting to actually collaborate with him creatively.
Right.
Something we basically weren't able to do at all on A Dream of Static.
Yeah, on the song Dream and Static, it's pretty much all our own vocal ideas. Frank, Ben, and I all wrote some of the vocal ideas for Dream and Static. And then here, the three of us wrote this plus Dan.
Yep.
With the sustained pop, I gotta just enjoy this riff for a moment. I love your keyboard thing, like putting over with the tape delay effects.
That's the best part.
That was a cool addition there.
Producer Greg pushed me to add different endings. That was a good idea on his part.
Love how spooky that harmony is.
Typical Jamie octaves. Was coming right out of a classic Ben fill. And the strings taking Frank's melody, keyboard melody here is a really good climactic moment.
New register for Dan.
I was definitely pushing him to sing more in a sultry, lower register.
Definitely a cool effect. He has a vibe in that range.
The naughty pan left there.
Yeah, I'm really hearing him more than I normally do with the isolation meters. Oh, that moment is like the stankiest stank bass for me.
Gennady super high upper note. And to Thomas's thing about the sustained palm muted guitar, I think one of my tricks might be that I like record like layers of palm mutes and then a couple layers where it's just sustained without palm mutes, and so you get the attack of the palm mute, the sustain of the non-palm mute.
Another classic 4/4 groove here.
This is classic.
This is actually 4/4. But this synth chord progression sort of set the stage for what becomes the epic outro, right? We're already in the chord progression of the climactic outro. So it was jamming. I thought this was never going to be close to my favorite song on the album. Then we started jamming on this part that wasn't originally going to be in the same song as other stuff. And when we stuck it in this song, I was like, all right, now it might be my favorite song. Because of where this builds to.
It's that C major. It's like the best chord in the universe.
Yeah, I have to look up what double harmonic major means. Thomas, if you know what the difference between harmonic major and double harmonic major is, you can put it in the chat for me and explain it to me.
Thank you, man.
Here we go. Gennady, do a little faint.
When this chord comes in.
Yeah, when I say this song's my favorite song on the album, it's like 99% this section. Gennady and Dan.
And Nightmare Phil, these guys wanted me to keep from the demo.
And these strings doing what was Frank's synth line.
Then still is.
It still is, but what I mean is you wrote it and then the violins copied you.
Fell down the stairs.
Gennady.
Best Gennady part.
And then Dan comes in. The drum propulsion to that ending.
We should like do a set where we just play this song like 4 or 5 times. We get better every time.
Oh, yeah, I think I know it as the Byzantine scale, is what you call it, yeah.
But didn't you say like it didn't totally doesn't like stay in that the whole time?
No, it's not. This song does not perfect. Especially because the home major chord, the C major, has a major second. Na, 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 so it's not flat 2 the whole time. It goes to the flat 2 chord, but there's the C chord is a C major 9, so that part would just be harmonic major. And then the flat 2 comes later.
It definitely gives it like this biblical, religious kind of holy.
I like that it's now called Byzantine. Growing up, they would call that scale the Gypsy scale. So
Byzantine does sound
Fernac.
classier.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fernac, here we go. A classic Fernac.
And fun fact, the image you're seeing right now is actually our first draft of an album cover for this album, and then we felt like it was too sort of singular direction of it didn't represent the whole album. It represented like really a side of the album.
Yeah.
But what you're seeing was an early draft of the album cover, and we felt like it more fit with the watching the earth sink and all we knew and ever loved kind of side of the album.
That's me screaming into the microphone on it.
Still in the inlay. So I think it's on the CD. Isn't that
This?
I think that's.
I think maybe it's on the vinyl. It's also on one of the vinyl labels, I think. One of the two vinyls has that image maybe on the label. You think it's the image that's on the CD itself?
Yeah. On
This song has a lot of different layers with different from different locations and performers and production.
I love that creeping in brass there.
How do you guys feel about the fact that the first thing... Well, I'm going to ask it later. There'll be more opportunity. This is the first thing we heard from the song. I was just like, this has got to be something sick.
Yeah.
Like, we got to turn this into something.
I can't spell.
So I was
And what's funny is the organist, his favorite part of the song is this. This.
There's a lot of space for it to...
I think when people listen to the song, I think they're listening. Some people are listening from the wrong perspective of like expecting this to be like part of like a prog metal album, and like there's so much space, but it's supposed to play like a film soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to play like a typical song where you're having this event-driven thing that's happening. And actually, I'm bowing the guitars. There's two bowed guitars, one from my demo and the other from
Studio
there. But I feel like it just kind of, it's that screeching kind of pain, and or it also feels this part like you're just kind of like lost in the unknown.
It goes well with the journey in the video too.
Yeah.
It's like really like that space that they're entering on this journey.
Yeah, the inspiration for the song was like when I watched Melancholy and the world just that planet just keeps getting closer and closer, and inevitably, it's gonna obliterate everything. All you knew and never
The
loved.
thing I was going to ask quickly before we get into the part where I shouldn't talk as much, which is, I'm curious how people feel about the fact that we sort of gave away the ending of the album. Like this was the first thing we gave, yet it's the ending of our movie in some ways, but in some ways I feel like it's also...
So this part starts the rewrite of the song here.
Yeah,
before it was like a 7-minute build up.
17-minute total track.
Yeah. We didn't get there, but this is where the interstellar vibes come in. And you know what I think actually makes the song now? Is there's just this bowed guitar. I tune the strings to the guitar strings to the key of the song and was just bowing harmonics. And it's just happening in the stereo space behind everything. The organ, the piano, the drums.
Is that some of the fit for an autopsy like stuff, or?
Well, that's kind of coming up.
Organ was recorded at the largest...
The First Congregation of Los
Right.
Angeles.
Is it the largest organ in North America? And like
largest church organ?
and one of the 3 largest in like the world or something?
Yeah, church organ.
Yeah.
I love when that comes in.
And this is the
Fit for an autopsy bends.
yeah, like you notice like a lot
Absolute
of
Hope,
like kind of
Absolute
those
Hell.
deathcore bands, but especially like inspired from Fit for an Autopsy. They just have these like reverb bends like far in the background, and it just adds so much tension and like brings so much value to the production. Just the tension and the atmosphere. Just
Sounds like the
one
guitar's
band.
crying. Like,
Yeah, it's just pain.
Ben? Norwegian.
Born. Yeah, and all the drums, the fills flow into each other seamlessly. So it's meant to feel like one drummer, but it's two drummers completing each of their parts.
So I kind of had to
Interlocking
listen
parts.
to Board's parts that were recorded first and figure out how to weave those in and out.
More bends.
Hey Lulu, hey Anahita, hey Alex.
Frank, is your favorite Radiohead album The Bends?
No. So we call this part false hope because it's kind of like the triumphant return that like maybe we're gonna make it like and come together and find a solution. That's why you get these kind of dun 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 like regal horns. Bum, 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 bum. You got this soaring guitar and it's like they're like busting out of like
Then
all the shit
Board.
and then like gets crushed by level 100 asteroid. You all die.
And if you haven't watched the drum playthrough video of this, you can see Ben and Board play their different parts. You can kind of see who's doing what. There is a YouTube video of Ben and Board doing this drum part.
So much tremolo. And I played all the guitar parts.
Jamie did a great job on this.
Yeah.
You were quite involved with the production. I would not rule out a 3-drummer song. Probably next album though.
You really get the Board caveman toms here.
Yeah. I love the way that the layering worked out between the
Ben
two.
is on the snares here more,
Yeah.
and Board is on the toms.
Cinematic bass drop.
Irma Linus, you say you don't want a vocalist on this track. Frank does have a 1-second scream at one point, but what Randy calls God's organ just shining.
Slipknot. Oof. Alright. Finishing it.
Thank you. Good night, Cleveland.
We have been recently closing shows with that moment, so I'm used to being like at that ending. You guys have all been so great. We'll see you real soon.
It's funny.
Oh boy, all my recommended videos, called out.
It's funny, the section that Ralph said was his favorite, I was remembering. That's actually the part that it kind of, when it builds up a little bit, is actually one of my favorite moments in the songs. It feels, that's maybe like the saddest I feel listening to the album. It feels like you're having like this warm memory from the past. That like at first you're just like, oh, it's good to be back here. And then as it's progressing, you kind of realize that it isn't real. Like seeing someone who died a while ago in your life, being reunited with them, and then having it slowly fade into oblivion.
Yeah, so we're here to answer questions. So we're happy to do some Q&A. If there's like a specific section of music you were intrigued by and want us to do a quick like 5-second listen to tell you something, we appreciate you all being here. But please drop your questions, and we will be here to answer for a little while longer. So, the only thing about the
from Bob and John.
I don't know the key. I can't bother with that perfect pitch stuff.
And this, while we're here, also we're all very accessible generally on the interwebs. So if you want to, I'm Jamie Earthside on Facebook and Instagram and Discord, and I think you guys are Ben Earthside, Frank Earthside. So underscore Earthside for me, I make it. And if you're on Facebook, you just search our first name and Earthside, and you get us. Are you Ben Shambrom on Instagram? I think.
Is it
at Ben Shambrom?
Oh yeah, Facebook.
So that way, if you guys want to, if you have any more questions,
all right,
and you want to continue the conversation at any point.
All right, let's see what we got. Do you design the songs? No, I mean when we're writing the songs, we're not thinking about them in the live context. It's more just what creatively comes and kind of what we want to say emotionally. We know how to end records with no hope tomorrow. Yep. Thank you. You're welcome.
We're 2 for 2 in albums ending with songs with Frank's Baby on the album. Contemplation of the Beautiful was Frank's Baby on A Dream in Static, and then All We Knew and Ever Loved was Frank's Baby on Let the Truth Speak. So if we want a more optimistic shape to a record, maybe we'll start an album with a Frank song, and then we'll build to need somebody in our band who can write happy songs.
Let's see. Alex, do we have a lot of rejected ideas? I wouldn't say rejected.
Unfinished.
Either the only things we have is just snippets of ideas. There's only one song we wrote, I think.
Pretty much.
Did we? Basically finished that. Didn't end up making the album, but it wasn't a reject. It was just it couldn't fit obviously in the scope.
I also think the mood of it is a little different.
Yeah. Pattern of Rebirth was another one like Neanderthal that was we're saving it for later, and then the pandemic hit and we're like, you know what, let's kind of finish this and do it as try it as kind of a one-off single. And then when what AJ brought to the song, sort of lyrical content-wise, what thematically it actually then ended up really feeling like it fit the album.
Yeah.
And so
I think you guys took it in some darker. You brought in some of the darker harmonic.
So one thing before, I think, so Irma Linus asked each member's favorite song on the album. That was above the question I already asked. I mean, I would just say, I think, for me, I'm most proud collectively of Let the Truth Speak. Probably, I think it is the quintessential Earthside song, and just how that ending feels.
Everyone wrote on it.
Yeah, so it's just, it's the perfect balance between collaborative and personal, and everyone kind of getting to really contribute something of their own. I think, for me, my personal baby is Denial's Aria. So from far as wanting to achieve something specifically very sort of gloomy and beautiful in that way, I'm proud of how that came out. And I would say, I think as far as how it came out on the album, I think just watching the Earth Sync feels in the context of the record is really rewarding. But I don't think it was. I think it was a song we all slept on until towards the very end of the process.
I don't have a favorite, but I feel like that song is it's very satisfying in terms of just the overall Earthside sound. It just feels very. No, Let the Truth Speak.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick a vocal and an instrumental, those would probably be my two overall. For everyone being involved favorites.
Are we doing any Guitar Pro or tabs? That would be impossible. The layers. It's here's 10 guitars. All right, this tab for this one. This tab.
I think there will be some though. We've talked to Liam or Loam already about doing one for We Hula Man. I don't know if it'll be for the whole record. There's also orchestral scores that obviously already exist for the players to play on them, and the horns on the Lesser Evil. So there is sheet music that already exists. But as far as guitar tabs, I think, we can send all the stems to somebody and see if they want to make them. But
Yeah, there's a lot of tracks, so it's like that would be interesting.
I'd say, but see the question considered, I would say yes. Will we? I don't know.
How far would we get away?
Is there a vocalist you would have had liked to perform in a song that finally couldn't? I mean, you guys seem to refrain from wanting to say people's names, but
Well, I think part of it is, we might work with them in the future, so you want to keep a little element of surprise, and then, we don't want to send our angry fans, at them like at their, showing up at their Thanksgiving dinner like, you didn't sing on the last Earthside album.
How dare you?
So we want to leave that to us. We want to be the ones who show up at their houses on Thanksgiving.
let's see, if they were writing around live performance, they wouldn't do a different song.
Yeah,
well, not necessarily. I mean, we write the vocal parts first anyway, so that doesn't.
Depends, but
Yeah.
Going forward, there might be certain decisions that we make that we're aware to not limit the artistry of songs, but just allow us to make really high quality music, but maybe allow some elements of the live transition to be a little smoother.
What was the most fun collab? For me, in terms of just fun, not like I don't think anyone's better than another in the collaboration on this record, but definitely when I went to Norway with
I was going to
Bård.
say, Frankie boy,
Frankie boy, hello, I am Bård.
It's pretty cool to be on, all of us on, when Gennady was recording and kind of giving him direction.
Yeah, with Bård, I went to his house and met his mom and dad, and he was constantly annoying me with songs I hated and would just start singing them, and it was just.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah, that was a fun time. Did you have anything else you wanted to?
I don't know if I could pick it. I mean, because each one I would have sort of something to say about it. That's getting to choosing my favorite child territory.
Yeah, you guys seem to love C minor. I definitely C minor is in our top. I feel top keys for sure.
I'm the F sharp minor stan though.
Yeah, as far away as you can possibly get.
I think you and I, Jamie, we're the flat. We like the flat keys.
Yeah,
the most.
I definitely write more flat keys than sharp keys.
Say my favorite.
But you love the sharp cheddar.
Extra sharp.
My favorites would probably be C minor, D, E flat, and B flat minor are probably my favorites.
We gotta make
honestly,
a
if you
list.
had not said your favorite keys, and I was asked, Jane, what are your 4 favorite minor keys? I might have said the exact same.
We probably were writing the same.
Should we next piece of content? Key tier list.
That would be good.
Here's a question: is there a major key that
C major is F tier? Never
not
mind.
tournament viable.
Is there a major key we rank above our least favorite minor key?
Probably not, but it depends on how you use it. Is it in the sense of a Lydian thing, or is it a sharp 4 or whatever?
Because also the question with minor, is it Aeolian? Is it Dorian? Is it harmonic? I have to do every root and every mode ranked 1 to 4,000. Because
I like A minor quite a lot on some. It just depends on.
And I think we do love on Let the Truth Speak is C major chords, but it's not just straight C Ionian major. It's C major.
Yeah, remember the other day I was
Byzantine. Thomas.
Did I use a C major in a chord? I could never do that.
Yeah, when you were relearning Let the Truth Speak for the tour, I'm like, Frank, I think you just play C major. That's all you do, right? No way, I never would. All
right, let's see. How far away from Prague would you stretch? We got Lesser Evil, do things like hip hop, more electronic. If we did a 3-6 Mafia collab, I think it would be the hardest song of all time. That would go so hard. Yeah, I think I could see us doing a sad boy, Radiohead record where it's very atmosphere, driven and something like that. I could totally see that.
I think Pattern of Rebirth already has some of those hip hop components, and I'm
gonna see if I can. Go ahead.
To the extent that when Alex in his question mentions the Vola track, I think AJ definitely brings, even though he's not a rapper, he definitely brings some dub and hip hop sort of influence to what he brings vocally.
I'm just trying to find. I wanted to find the song 1. Let's See if I can people can hear this if I drop it into this Logic session. Oh wait, yeah. There's definitely multi-genre things we can.
Is this the question about like would we go and like bring like any proper hip hop
or anything further from prog? And hip hop was given as an example. I would also say that I'm the most sort of hard hip hop person in the
Oh
band.
yeah,
I can bring it really hard. Flat brim. That's why I have a flat brim hat. Right
yeah.
My chain. I'm so.
Let's see.
If you scroll up, I think we're missing.
Oh yeah, we so many questions. Don't worry, we'll get to you guys. Let's see.
We already did one. We did a colored vinyl of Adis.
Yeah.
The reprinting just now is blue marble and
It's
opposed
really
to black.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably honestly more beautiful.
Go pick that up.
As far as the record itself.
Yeah. Third album. For me, the fourth album is already on my mind, but
we
the
have
third
multiple
album
ideas.
is unclear to me.
What's the name of the band that like is it Winter Sun that people are talking like they have like 10 different albums in the works? There's some band that has like 10 albums in the works, but they never release the one album. They just keep talking about other albums.
I feel good that we at least put out the record.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not saying to diss this band, but I do think we have a handful of ideas of what we could do as our next record, and then we'll commit to one that we're really focused on. And that's
How many years? You'll never know.
We
don't know.
did 8. I think it's probably 13 because we picked up the full
Fibonacci?
slap.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any common kind of ritual outside of music that can
I actually do want to answer the question a little bit above that, which is how many years. I mean, I think it was a really frustrating experience in a lot of ways, like sitting on this music for so long where it's almost done but not quite, and like having people sort of reach out like, hey, when's your next album? It felt good to have people still care about us and want to know what our new music was, but when they got like angry and upset with us, I think it resonated with us feeling kind of like, man, our years are passing us by and we still haven't put out new music. So I think, for me, I know for my own personal like mental health and emotional health, I need us to feel more productive. So it can't be another 5+ year wait. Or if it's going to be that for a full album, then I feel like there has to be something we release to get some sort of gratification for ourselves as far as just feeling like we're doing things in the interim. Somebody more Locrian. I saw that immediately. I was like, yeah,
That's kind of funny.
yeah. I might rate Locrian below major scale.
What's our main Locrian jam at the moment?
Super or Ultra Locrian? We did use Ultra Locrian in We Who Lament on the Save Yourself. Which is basically like the 7th mode of harmonic minor. Na, 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 na,
Yeah, so that's our favorite Locrian.
I think you guys are all plebs here. I think enigmatic scale is where it's at.
Let me just make sure, because somebody said they couldn't hear us.
That was just when we were playing the song.
the Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, cool.
All right. The next one was Ritual as a band. Outside of music, I don't think we have any.
We do
sometimes play GTA.
Sometimes you and I meditate.
Yeah, Frank did some meditation in the past too.
But as far as us, the three of us hanging out, I think if it's like 3 or 4 of us hanging out, usually without Ryan, because he lives the furthest away, it'll be the three of us, playing Grand Theft Auto and just being like goofy, like not playing missions. Just
Listening to.
Oh yeah, bad. It's so bad it's good music.
And also-
that is our biggest.
and also making so bad it's good music.
Yeah.
Like, really emulating our heroes in that
We
department.
have like individual albums worth of music, like good bad projects.
I have my redneck alter ego Jimbo Big J and his band Badass. We have like about 7 or 8 albums worth of songs. But the problem is, just as I would have gone to make it, cock rock, it's so unfortunate that cock rock, like Buck Cherry and Nickelback and Hinder, is no longer popular.
Yeah.
That music was so great. So,
really hard.
I missed the opportunity there.
Inspiration behind Denial's Aria. The song caught me off guard in some ways. Feels like the most powerful song on the album.
Yeah, I think for that one, it was between A Dream of Static and Let the Truth Speak. One big thing was that I don't think any of us were really into Bjork before that, and I think somewhere around 2016, 2017, we started listening to a good amount of Bjork. So I think that was part of it, and I think I realized how much I like some trip hop and sort of like Massive Attack and some more like sort of dark folky stuff, sort of like what could be in kind of like a TV, like a drama TV soundtrack with sort of a solo woman singer with a more ambient style vocal. So wanting an opportunity to create something like that and add that to kind of the range of what Earthside could create. And I'd also, from composing Mob Mentality, I already really loved harp, but I think there's so many layers in Mob Mentality, so having something where harp was more at the forefront. And also I had a mandolin, and I wanted to do something with the mandolin and its electric output through sort of guitar effects layers. So I think getting to just sort of play around with different instrumentation. And I think in general, and I think this is really true for Frank, timbre is such a huge part of inspiration to what sounds you're working with. And I think on this album, more so than A Dream in Static, we really explored a range of timbres, like crunchy horn section, lush harps and bells and
Brass.
like heavy brass, which is very different from crunchy horn funk horn
Pretty
section.
wide range of percussion between both Sandbox and what Matias did across the record.
So
You had a really fantastic percussionist.
We got to get through all this.
I'd love to see full Lindsay performance in the future. Yes, there is a version that exists. They will release it in the 25th year deluxe version of Lindsay Ward on Denial's Aria. There's also a full Vic version and a full Ketcher version before I sort of just took the bits and pieces I wanted from each.
Not C major, A minor with C in the bass.
You have nicknames.
Yeah.
It's just making a...
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Thomas
Very
and I.
funny.
Thomas
Very
doesn't.
funny.
Thomas doesn't know it yet, but he's already my best friend.
All right. Do you have nicknames?
So my name is actually Benjamin, but I generally go by Ben. And you might not know that Jamie's real name is actually James.
Yep.
Yeah, we have. I think we do have. I mean, Frank.
I think I'm the only... Am I the only one with like a proper, with proper nicknames?
Frank the Tank, or
Yeah, like FT. You call me FTT quite a bit, and Frankie technically is a nickname. There's Frankie Boy by board, Frankie Boy.
Yeah. Growing up, I was Big J.
Oh, yeah,
but people don't really call me Big J.
I have my Swedish alter ego, Sven Schanström.
Yeah. I think with my redneck alter ego Jimbo, I think people will call me Jimbo sometimes. So
Ryan. Oh yeah, in my phone I have Ryan as I forget. I'll go to look him up to text him, but I can't find his name because he's in there as Rhino, RYKNOW. Like I just gave him the Mudvayne bass player name.
I thought you had him as Ryan Dissonance.
Oh yeah, Ryan Griffin.
Griffin.
And I also call Ryan Rai Rai because his sister Kelly
Ickle
calls him
Rai
Rai
Rai.
Ickle Rai Rai, so I call him Rai Rai.
Earthside and Kendrick, that would be fire. Obviously, I would totally be down. Just depends on the other guys.
But 3-6 better.
I would choose 3-6 over, but I would also, that would be pretty sick with Kendrick because we could do some fast interplay with percussion.
You guys
That would be
ever
cool.
work with Mike Love? I don't know who that is.
This was when we
potentially.
couldn't hear you talk. Let's see. What do you think about AI in music? Heard a metalcore song with Plankton and well, I heard oh man, I want to bring this song. this song was fire. But they didn't do it in AI, and I actually think it's better with that Krusty Krab anthem. This song is like... Alright, I'll get to the... I don't know if you guys heard this one, but this is absolute fire.
Single file line in front of the register.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. We're doing this for fun. But that song was fire, man. But wait, let me go back to the. Yeah, I mean,
well, it is connected to a source of inspiration.
I think there will be some. I have actually like a whole document that's like 5 pages long with some ideas regarding that. So you may hear something in the future with Earthside regarding any of that. Let's see. Would you guys ever work with Mike Love?
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
We don't know who that is, but
Yeah.
we'll have to be curious to check out who that is.
All right. Let's see. Thumbs up for the vinyl. Any chance we would
Not
tour
that tour
in Mexico?
I think we would tour in Mexico, but the tour we have with Caligula's Horse is not going to Mexico because it ends
Yeah.
in Vancouver. So
Yeah.
Those things get
It's
played.
the opposite of Mexico.
we might extend to Alaska and the Yukon, and maybe we can go over to Russia and say hey to Putin. But yeah, I don't think we'll play Mexico from that.
Russian Far East.
Let's see. Regarding the time, between quality over quantity. If they disagree, we will sort them out. I don't know the Avalanches, but we'll check out that group.
What was it? Where does
I remember the Frontier Psychiatry. They're kind of like a weird DJ kind of group. They had some cool music though.
Let's see. Great voice, hang out again. Thank you, Zeus.
Zuzka.
Thank you so much.
Frog fan there.
Genuine, of course, my man. Jimbo, of course, Jimbo. What's your process for choosing your album covers?
Yeah.
This is something we take pretty seriously, the album covers.
I don't know if we have a single process, especially because we've only done it twice. So it's,
But both times have been fairly
something.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah, the second time was a bit. I mean, they were both Travis Smith. Absolutely incredible visual artist. First time, I think he kind of more ideated or generated what you're seeing the head, and the second time, knowing that he's a bit of a mixed media artist, he'll often incorporate like proper photos that he's taken or someone else has taken into his art and kind of give it this hand painted texture, which is really stunning. The second time was more us kind of finding a source material that we thought was incredible and would look amazing with his process. But either way, I think we know that with our albums, and I think many albums, people will judge a book by its cover, and you really have to have that cover, especially in the kind of constant content and things scrolling on the side of your screen. You want something that's going to stop you dead in your tracks, and you're going to want to know exactly what that sounds like.
And I think it's a balance of leaving enough mystery, like enough flexibility as far as what that could be, and enough imagination. Like the image that we had in this visualizer for All We Never Loved, I think skewed too dark. And so I think this cover ultimately for Let the Truth Speak and the one for Dream and Static are kind of, it's like the band name Earthside, and I think they're blank slate enough that you can kind of fill in what, sort of it means to you and what emotional frame to give it, while it's still fitting, I think, what we do, and allowing the music to kind of create what the mood of that image or that name is, and that the two work together in that way.
Happy you included Denials. Gonna call Jamie.
There's a lot more Jimbo. I should have never told you all my
SpongeBob.
name's Jimbo Big J.
Ben, what's your process for coming up with out-of-the-box drum arrangements that still fit right in?
I mean, I think so. A lot of our songs that we write together come out of jamming, and like some things will start with Frank finding a really beautiful voice that we then want to get in on, but also many of them come from me just sitting down on the kit and working something out, and the other guys will be like, oh, okay, all right, let's figure that out together. Or like I'll do something, and Frank will be like, that will never be a good song. And then Jamie's like, all right, I'm proving you wrong. I hear it in my head. So there's all manner of different ways that we start, and when they're organically starting from, I got a lot of things on my kit that I can hit, and I have probably some form of undiagnosed ADD. So there's no shortage of inspiration there. But I think one of the biggest things is also kind of having the perspective of backing away for a second from what you're doing on the kit and thinking, what would I actually want to listen to here? Or like, what hits the important marks, lines up in the important ways with what Jamie is doing on guitar, or syncs up with Ryan in the critical, dominant hits, and then gives me, okay, I have this space in between here that I can fill in with like a tasty cymbal ding to the side or something. I think using different ears, both, an in the moment ear to the timbres that you're hitting, and where you could go around the kit, not being afraid to pull from different areas, being stuck over here or here, but also always keeping the listener and you being your own most critical listener in mind. What would you want to hear as in that role?
I also think lately too, you've kind of almost given a melodic ear to your drumming, and you're starting to think in a way that fits in with the music in terms of
almost like it's an instrument.
Yeah, almost as if it was.
I think he was already very melodic on The Closest I've Come. That was already a very melodic.
Yeah, but I feel like even more
I think,
so
yeah.
at this point.
I think that was, for all of us, I think the song The Closest I've Come really created like a new sense of like where we could go individually and collectively. And I think that was the first example of you having a more melodic drum sensibility.
Yeah, and just coming off of like listening to Meniscus as we were. Yeah. Meniscus, amazing Australian instrumental band.
Totally underrated.
Listen to their
Absence
album.
of I, right?
Sorry? Absence of I is the record. Absence of I, me. That's the name of the record. Just such cool post-rock music, and that was a really big inspiration for us, especially on the A Dream in Static record.
Would you all consider working with someone like Colin Stetson? I don't
That's
know.
Another name I don't know. I've seen that name, but I can't remember who he is.
All right, we got lots of people to check out.
Do you know if this chat is archived afterwards?
I did have it set to chat replay.
So we can reread these later. We can find questions we forgot to answer, which we might happen.
Cover's awesome. Made for me, the redhead champion. I don't know. You might have some.
Well, I can't tell if that's somebody who loves redheads or is a redhead.
Or is a champion redhead.
I'm definitely Jamie and I would battle for the top spot of redhead.
I'm a person who you can't see it, but I am a redhead. So.
Let's see. Art is stunning. Merch impeccable. Thank you so much, Laura. The cover is an eye catcher, not obvious in thumbnails. Sometimes maybe. Zooming in. Yeah. Cool.
What caught me about the original photograph that inspired the cover was just that because it's based on a real photograph from a sort of rock metal fan from Romania, and she does have indeed, at least at that time, had red hair. But in that image specifically, almost like her hair looked like fire to me. The way it just sort of she like threw her head back, and the hair just kind of stood up like these flames. And I think that was just so evocative to me that when I saw that, I knew I wanted that image to be something. I don't think we knew right away it was going to be the cover for our album, but it turned that way.
Okay, he loves Reddit. Yeah, I think we're in the same camp as you. At least Jamie and I definitely.
I love all people and all looks.
Yeah, of course.
Red hair is just included, but I love bald people. I love people who are blonde and with black hair and blue hair.
Cool blue hair.
Okay, he's trying to make the
That's
PR.
also true, though.
PR. No, I know.
I ain't got no type.
Okay,
you know,
I
ain't got no
Are
type.
tour dates official yet? I believe they're official.
Yeah,
Yes,
the tour dates are
tour
January
dates.
31st to February 25th, and it starts in Washington, D.C. and ends in Vancouver, and it goes throughout a bunch of the U.S.
We're just going to drop the tour, link.
Can people see that right now, that screen? Or
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to drop the... if it will allow me. Nope. What the heck?
hope it's right. Does it have the Austin one before the Dallas one like it's supposed to?
Yeah. Looks like it.
Okay, so it's right now.
All right, I just dropped the live Diversity King. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, anyone have any more questions? Otherwise, we'll just wrap this up. Since there's a delay, we'll give you a few seconds here.
I think if we did a collab with Aryan Lucassen, the problem is he collaborates with everyone. So like us collaborating with him would just be then like he brings in 20 more people and we bring in 30 more people. And also like be a battle like, no, that person's my collaborator. Another my collaborator.
Be like, we are the world.
Yeah. We'll get Avantasia while we're at it too. Just get all the people who and Massive Attack. Just everyone who's collaborative.
Thanks for coming out, everyone. We appreciate you being here.
Let's just give any last questions.
Yeah. And remember to follow Earthside Band on Instagram. But do it and follow Jamie Earthside on Instagram, Frank Earthside on Instagram, and Ben Shanbrom on Instagram.
Came up with the Bengali vocal part, so that was Pritam, the singer.
Pritam himself. I think I might have been my idea to encourage him to go there from a conversation. Pritam and I talked like probably 3 or 4 times a week, so there was at some point a conversation where I realized that in his own band, Arlan, a really great Indian metalcore band, he sings in Hindi, which is the most commonly spoken language in India. But where he's from in India, the northeastern part, or I don't know if it's northeastern, but eastern Siliguri, is a sort of a Bengali region. West Bengal is the name of the state or province. So realizing that in his own music he didn't sing in Bengali. It felt like and we had also just come off of AJ writing his own vocals for Pattern of Rebirth and his own lyrics there, and just how much that added to the song from a personal standpoint, and just seeing, how much more meaning it could add.
And Dad had also gotten to
right. So I think Pritam adding that more personal side of what the themes meant to him from in Bengali, and also the themes that are in Tyranny. It's very different coming from the U.S. and having this. I don't want to call it political sort of discourse, but there's the social construct there, and then you talk about somebody in India where these sort of caste systems, and here we're talking about Bengali versus Hindi and how people sort of maybe have certain almost like pseudo nationalism around these different languages there. So just I think there was a way that Pritam could sort of take the themes in a way that was meaningful to him.
Plans to tour. Yeah, we're trying to see what's available next year for sure.
It'd be very awesome if we can do the Makeup Voyager tour. I mean, we'll see what happens. We were supposed to, tour with Voyager in October, and then, I don't think my cancer diagnosis had that much of it an effect on things. But then, obviously, 5 days later, or 6 days later, when Danny gets his own much more advanced cancer diagnosis, and it just threw everything into upheaval. So, but hopefully, he's able to, get well in a way where he can. And Voyager announce at least what are tentative European tour dates, and they're going to go for it. And if we get to experience those with them, that would be amazing. I think we're also starting the conversations with European festivals, so maybe we'll get announced for some of those soon. So. I think we'll.
I think we. It's like, what would you love to tour with? I think we need to open for Hans Zimmer. I think that's just what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, luckily, the metal concert tickets aren't like $300. Best wishes from Portugal. Thank you so much. I've been to Lisbon once and I loved it.
When we release or tour our musical alter egos, probably on SoundCloud. We
gotta release Crooked, Jimbo.
April Fools. Sometimes we're tempted to. So I think we couldn't do it on April Fools in recent years because it's like, all right, fuck you, Earthside. You haven't released any music yourselves. Now you're releasing your alter egos. But now we've released a new album.
Yeah, maybe Lil Jeholman gets a release.
So I think we're now allowed like a year or two of releasing alter egos without pissing people off.
I'd love to put Crooked out there.
Crooked, Frank and Ben, I help a little. They have.
We gotta play.
If you love the first few seconds of Tyranny before it turns into something good, but you were wishing that there was a whole band dedicated to that sound, we got you.
Have we listened to Persephone? I think I listened to one of their records.
I haven't listened to a
on
ton. I mean, I know David produced, is it their most recent record? Or 2 records ago?
check
David
more of
Castillo
them
has
out.
produced them. They're heavier than us, I think.
Yeah.
From Barcelona. Buenas noches. Gracias.
And a lot of people
I
in
know,
Barcelona
we're
just speak
adorable. Chars for come to Northern Ireland. Ireland is just so lush and great. I feel like some of the lush songs on the album would have some.
And with Northern Ireland, it's technically UK.
No, I know it's in the.
It's technically UK, but, you know.
Just letting you guys know, we are not ignorant in geography. I don't know about Ben, but at least Jamie and I think. I mean, I know where every country is in the world, so I'm just saying the island of Ireland is very lush and green, and I think.
Did you know that Greenland's not that green and Iceland is? And
Okay, next question. But thank you. I hope we get to.
I hadn't gotten to troll Frank pretty much this whole time. I had to do it.
Lots of nerdy questions. Cool, thank you. Yeah, well,
Cheers from Romania. We got a Romanian.
awesome.
Just
I
like the
bet
person
they
on the
have red
album.
hair. No, I'm just
No.
joking.
And the person who, the person who shot the photo that Travis then manipulated for the album cover is also Romanian. So we got some Romanian collaboration.
Yeah, Earthside in Europe would not be a dream in static. It would
Merci
be-
beaucoup, Clément.
The Silent Man, a Cult of Luna reference.
Thank you
So I really
guys.
like that
Manifesting
song.
you guys in Devon. Be awesome to have
the
Dead
name of the
Man
song?
Devon Townsend
What's the name of the
vocals.
song
on
by Antimatter? Is that also the Silent Man?
No,
I
that's
know.
Black Eyed Man.
Black
Hey,
Eyed Man.
thank
That's
you.
right. So you're probably right there.
Is Tyranny another Romanian? Yeah, Romanian love for real.
Alex, I don't know if you were here when we answered your question, but we did ultimately answer your question of what each of our favorite songs on the album was. But I don't know if you stepped out and then stepped back in.
Boris Reyes, saludos, un agrado escucharlo. Gracias por esa buena tarde. Muchas gracias, Boris Reyes. That looks like it. I don't see any more questions, but thank you guys. This was our first stream. I think that it was pretty successful. We had good viewership, and
Actually,
I hope you all learned something from.
really quick, if we could drop an invite to the Earthside Discord in there, if you got that.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll
That way
drop you
anybody
to if you want to chat.
Maybe also the Reddit.
Discord.
I don't think we have. Like,
Well, we had the
we have
email
actual
already.
like Discord server. That people
Yeah,
can
the
join.
Discord certainly. Probably.
I won't write anything in Greek. It's all Greek to me. It's a classic saying.
We
over
did
here.
collaborate with somebody in North Macedonia. The Orchestra in
Macedonia.
North Macedonia.
Where's the
Invite people just to blue, and then
copy?
yeah.
It's on streamer mode. So, all right, we're pasting in the chat.
Yeah, that'll work. So people can.
If you want to join our Discord, come to Dubai. That would be we could do like some real like done up performance.
That'd be awesome. We know a couple people in
Swag.
Dubai.
It'd be awesome. Like there's
We know a contortionist in Dubai.
there's
who could
some
do,
like
Bob
Middle
Dylan.
Eastern instruments and musicians that are just like off the charts. That would be like that's what I would love to do, these Yanni type shows where you're getting these instrumentalists from around the world and you're putting it together. Like I feel like our show could be somewhere between like Yanni and Hans Zimmer or something like
Jan
that.
Zimmer.
Jan Zimmer.
Hani.
You heard it here first.
Copyright that.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll maybe do another live next time. And we have some behind the music videos and insights coming out soon. So keep watch for that. And we're going to try to do some like production / arrangement breakdowns with the Pro Tools sessions and give you even more like technical insights into the songs and how we produce them. Kind of like maybe you've seen those Jacob Collier videos or those types of breakdowns. But yeah, I think we think you guys would find those really interesting. So all that should be coming out soon.
Give us some parting words, Frank.
After that,
What else do you have to do on a Sunday? Come join us for our stream.
Thumbs up.
all right, guys, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, peace. Watching you do it.
Cool.